I'm Brandon Smith, and I'm the workplace therapist. My entire purpose and passion in life is one singular thing, and that's to help you live a life free from dysfunction. And let's be honest, folks, dysfunction is everywhere. Our bosses, our coworkers, our neighbors, even that grumpy barista that pours your coffee. And sometimes, that dysfunction stares back at us in the face when we're getting ready in the mornings and we see ourselves in the mirror. Well, at the end of the day, life and work should not have to suck. The purpose of this show is to help you overcome those roadblocks in your life to help you realize the life you've always wanted. This is the Brandon Smith Show. I am your host, Brandon Smith, and the entire purpose of the show is one singular thing, and that is to help you live a life a little less dysfunctional and all that more awesome. And so for our topic today, we are going to talk about something that I really struggle with. I mean, this is definitely one of my many dysfunctions, and it is the production trap. And so you may be asking, what exactly is the production trap? And so to help us with that, I've got a good friend of mine and fantastic, awesome guest, Jodie Charlop, with us. Jodie, thank you for coming.
Oh, I am so delighted to be here.
And so in a minute, I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit more about what you do and your background and how you got there. But let me introduce you. So Jodie is an executive coach extraordinaire. And what I love is you gave me a list of different titles that either people have called you by or used for you. And there's things like teacher, sense maker, perspective partner. I love like that ring to that. But my favorite, here's my all-time favorite. And from now on, I think I just might call you this.
There you go.
Guardian of your future. So there's like Guardians of the Galaxy. This is even better.
Yes.
Like, forget the galaxy, your future. And Jodie is the guardian of someone's future, guardian of my future. So I am so thrilled to have you on.
Yes.
So thank you for coming.
I am so glad to just be with you.
Yeah, well, and I'm excited about this topic because this is definitely an issue for me.
Oh, it's an issue for me too, so we'll learn together.
A big time issue for me. So tell us a little bit, before we jump into our topic, talk to us about you. I know I've left out a lot. So for our listeners, what are some of the things you bring to the world, and how did you get doing this?
Gosh, executive coach, launched my practice in 2004, and in simplest terms, I help people build careers that matter and help cultivate leaders that matter. And that's really the heart of what I do. And gosh, how did I come to this?
Yeah, how did you get on this path?
I lived 20 years of dysfunction in business, and I just saw so much. You know, I had a really great career. I worked in the airline industry and watched it go out of business from the inside out in the labor office. And that was really, watching a business you really love and like being a part of. And then I went and did, I was in one of the world's global communications firms for, almost a decade, and had a great career. And you see so much. You work on different clients. It's the consulting of communications.
So communication,
marketing, just everything. And I started out in marketing and then began to move toward internal communications. And then I got closer to dysfunction with mergers and acquisitions. And so I just saw all this stuff. And I got a coach. And that was the turning
so you
point.
got a coach.
Got a coach.
And you were like, this is awesome, and I want to do more of this awesomeness with other people.
Yeah, and so took off to Silicon Valley for a few years doing turnaround work. And when I was doing that, that's when I said, you know what, I too want to help eliminate dysfunction. And, no matter how much we market or grow, if we don't have good leadership, if we don't have people that are, process doesn't innovate, people do. So how do we begin to help people survive all this?
Hashtag soundbite. Process doesn't innovate, people do.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
I will have to tell you, I stole that from my good buddy, Crystal Fernando. She's an awesome colleague and innovation coach that I really adore.
I still like it.
Yeah, you can have it. Yeah. No original content, man. Everything's rehashed.
Okay. So I'm kind of actually super uncomfortable with this topic, but it's kind of like jumping into a pool that's really, really cold. You just got to do it.
There you go.
And so production trap. Let's talk about this. What is that?
It's the thing that's keeping us from building a life that matters, becoming a leader that matters. It's
I thought you were going to say that.
It's going to hold
I'm,
us back.
Now I'm really uncomfortable.
Well, I don't make the rules, but, people come in and they say, what's the big secret to the universe and what's going to make me more successful and what's holding me back? And we have all these point solutions. I was in technology, so, you see all these little point solutions. People are looking at these Band-Aids of what's holding them back. And I'm like, you got to kind of take a step back. And one of the things that really holds back, that we're living in a society where there's so much coming at us. We're just caught in this big old production trap.
So is that what the production trap is? It's just stuff just coming at us?
Absolutely.
On these little friends?
Well, it's more than that. I think it's this, we think doing more makes us more valuable. We think we'll take on more work, we'll take on more projects, we'll take on, we're just gobbling up everything in front of us. And, it's like we're out of control. And, and we, if you can't talk to anybody in your life that doesn't say, oh my God, I'm just so busy. I'm so busy.
Yeah,
I don't have time to breathe. You don't understand my life.
So I have a personal confession, and I need to figure out a way to get over this or find a way to replace it. But I am over myself telling people I'm so busy.
Yeah.
I'm tired of saying it, but I don't have a good proxy to replace it with. So people ask me, so how are you? How are things? I'm like, out of control, super busy. It's not bad. It's all good. But like, that's what I'm telling people. And I'm like, I don't want to tell people. It doesn't sound good.
Yeah. No, I was I was talking with a client this week, and same thing we were saying. It's like, well, if you're super busy, then let's have a conversation about how we're going to resource or whatever. It's like, it's almost like in today's society where we almost wear that as a badge of honor. I'm so busy. And candidly, I think we're all busy, but it is interesting because.
What do you tell people? So they're like, how are things? Because I know your world. I know you're busy.
Oh yeah, I'm screaming busy.
But is that what you say? I'm screaming busy, man. Busy.
Yeah.
There's something kind of fun. It's a little bit crazy when you say that though. Like, I'm screaming busy. Screaming busy.
No, man. It's like, I always kind of think of it like the duck on the pond. It's like on the, you're gliding across and man, you're paddling like hell underneath. People say, how are things going? I just have to say, great. It's my own fight to fight. If I don't want my busyness to get all over you. So, to colleagues and friends, it's like, oh, I'm out of control. But, but I try.
Would you say like life is full? Yeah. You could say that. That sounds good. Life is full.
Life is full. Yeah. Life is abundant.
If my daughter was here, who we had the show earlier on generational communication, she would say, I couldn't say this, but I'll say it for us today. I could say #blessed. #blessed.
#blessed.
She would say, Dad, you can't say that. You can't. That's not cool. You can't say that.
Abundant. I mean, I always say life is
abundant.
Look, life is overabundant. I am blessed by overabundance. That's really the truth. And it is the truth. I mean,
it's really cool the way you set this up, the image. You said it's like we're gobbling up everything.
Yeah.
And immediately I pictured like this enormous workplace buffet.
Oh my God!
And we're just
and
like
not just workplace.
We're just heaping our plates full of stuff, and we're just gobble, and that's not a good image.
Well, but it's very, very visual. It's like we have this buffet, and then we go home. We have this life buffet. It's like we're buffeting, like we're breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're buffeting, and man,
that doesn't sound healthy.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not.
I mean, a buffet every once in a while is fun.
Awesome. It's nice to go have
but
lots
every
of choice.
meal,
no,
all the time. That's not good.
Yeah. No, it's not good for the long-term health.
Okay, so let's dig into this. When you think about production trap, are there certain is there a certain list of tips and points that we can think about that help us overcome that, or how do you coach clients to overcome a production trap?
I think first is mindset. You have to work on the mindset. And it's like, we know it intellectually, but the thing that really gets people sometimes is you have to say, you're not being more successful. It's like you got to almost help people recognize that, I always say to folks, and you kind of have to do it this way. I'm like, hey, have you ever noticed the guy or the gal at work that hardly works and yet somehow they've gotten 2 promotions? What's that about? Or people that seem to come in and they're a lot less stressed than you are. And so you begin to observe your world because doing more does not make you more valuable. And I think it's really helping people understand where value lies. It's not always in more. And so, a lot of times, I'll say, are you taking on more projects because you think that's going to make you more valuable? Or, what is your belief system about all these things you're doing? And what are you running to, or what are you running from? And so it's just kind of really helping people understand that we're working under the wrong assumption, that if we're out there, that somehow we're going to be better, smarter, faster. But the reality is, it's a law of supply and demand. I mean, what happens to a stock price when it floods the market? It goes down. So it's understanding, first and foremost, that it's an illusion that you're being more valuable.
So that comes that idea of mindset again.
Yeah.
But is it redefining what success means for a person, or is it redefining or re-examining where we add value?
It's all of those. I mean,
it's all that.
You got to figure out what it is that you're trying to accomplish. I mean, you have to think about what it is you need, what it is you want, what it is you're trying to accomplish.
Okay. All right. So I'm absorbing this.
Okay.
I think I'm having a hard time ironically enough, I'm having a hard time swallowing this part.
Okay.
We've just been talking about gobbling the buffet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's say we get the mindset part right. What comes next?
Well, I think there are really three things. First of all, if there's you with you, meaning as the system's trying to absorb you, it's almost like you got to put your hand up and say, stop, and get some. The interesting part about it is getting time to have time. That's the paradox. I got to have time to take a step back to figure out how I get control of my time.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about this right before the show,
mm-hmm.
and you used that phrase. Again, you got so many great images of the system trying to absorb you.
Oh yeah.
And immediately there was that TV show Star Trek: The Next Generation with the Borg.
Oh,
and it's like, I do not want to be assimilated.
Yeah,
that's not what I want.
My husband's a comic book geek. We have 60,000 comic books.
And immediately I thought that image came to mind.
Yeah. The system is trying to pull you in.
Absorb me.
Siren song.
Assimilate me. Not good.
Yeah. And then we just get sucked into the mass of busyness and stay there sometimes for decades, our whole lives.
Oh.
It's awful. Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm on a journey myself to get out of that production trap and seize control. And so how do we as coaches, and how do we as professionals, and how do we as leaders?
This show's totally all for me today. This is all for me. I'm sorry.
I know
I have to apologize to all my listeners,
personal therapy
and viewers,
session.
Because I know you really think this is about you today, but really, it's about me today. This is really rough stuff. I struggle with this.
It is about all of us, my friend. It is about all of us. We are all on this journey. I am in coaching myself, making sure that I'm cognizant of this.
So we've talked a little bit about mindset and this idea of trying to hold back stuff from coming at us. And you said there was 3 points. You said one of them was holding back. You said there's two more after that?
Well, no, I think that's getting the framework of it. So it's first you with you and leading yourself. I mean, you got to heal yourself first. I mean, it's like the old saying, put your mask on. And so I am accountable for me. And so at the end of the day, I got to figure out what I need for myself, what I need for my family, what I need for my work. It's like, I got to stop and hopefully put the noise over here for just a minute, whether it's 2 hours a week or 1 day a month or whatever it is. I got to stop the noise so I can recalibrate and make sure I am doing what I need to do. And we don't stop. We just keep going. And so it's really about becoming really clear about what you need, what you want, what you wish for. And by the way, that's not a magic fix. That's a journey.
Okay. So, all right. So we've come to our break in the show. And so I've got a lot more questions for you.
You got it.
So when we come back from break, we're going to stay with Jodie. We're going to talk a little bit more about how do we get past this production trap, and what are some other tools and tricks and tips, or trips, that we can take to get us past this. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Job plus the right culture plus the right boss equals workplace happiness. The number one reason people leave jobs is problems with their boss. A horrible boss can make us dread every Monday, but an amazing boss can make us so excited to work that we'd go in on weekends. Finding your perfect boss is not only possible, it's one of the most impactful steps you can take in crafting your perfect career. Visit theworkplacetherapist.com and click on guides to learn how to find and get your perfect boss, whether that means making the decision to move on or turning your current boss into the perfect leader you want them to be. Our bosses have so much influence over our work and our whole day. Working for the right boss alone can be a winning career strategy.
Welcome back from the break. This is the Brandon Smith Show, and today we are talking about the production trap and one dysfunction that I personally and freely admit I've got. And so to help us on this discussion, we've got my good friend, coach extraordinaire, and guardian of your future, Jodie Charlop. Jodie, awesome. So, all right, help us out here. So we've got this idea of the system pushing on us.
Yep.
Got to hold it back.
The Borg is trying to absorb
The Borg
us.
is trying to assimilate us, being absorbed. What else can we do, or what else do you coach clients on when they say, yeah, I'm just so overwhelmed with this idea of production, and I want to get a better hold on my life?
Right. Well, I think first of all, again, it comes back to what you control for you. And so I kind of look at it on 3 levels. First, let's get you straightened out. Let's figure out what you need. How do we lay it out? How do we get out of this trap? And so it is that personal journey that we're on. And then the second, we look at the ecosystem we're working on. And most of the time I'm working with folks in the corporate setting. How do I keep work from absorbing me to the point there's nothing left of me? And so it's really then beginning to understand the ecosystem. So you with you, like where's the real production trap issue? Is it you with you? Meaning there's some belief systems, some things you're doing, and how do we peel that back? Then you kind of have to look at your co-players. Like sometimes it's not you. You could be pretty good and you got a boss that has some production trap issues. And so you have to look at your co-players and determine where am I out of control?
Okay. So I'm pausing dramatically.
Okay.
Here's I have another confession. And my confession is my belief system is that when I start telling clients no, they'll stop calling. And so my value is always being available and there. And that's helped me to this point.
Right.
But it's also now causing major issues because my calendar is constantly full.
Yeah.
All the time. And I feel like I'm in more firefighter mode than otherwise.
We're all like feral cats, man.
So I have a feeling I'm not the only one out there who believes that, whether you work for yourself or have your own business or you work for a company, you this belief that I can't say no.
Right.
Because the minute I say no, they're going to stop coming to me. They're going to go to someone else.
Yes,
and then they're going to be the one getting the recognition and I'm not going to be.
Yeah, that's a great belief system that we have to kind of chip away at there. Chip. Chip.
Jodie.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I've been there.
I'm waiting for help. Like, this is me waiting. This is like, what do you got for me?
Yeah. Well, the reality is, at what point does the system begin to bend backwards so you're not valuable to your clients? I mean, how much are you really able to give? I mean, there's even a large porous sponge gets full. So the reality is, and that's, hey. I'm
so spongy.
I'm in coaching myself for this very issue.
Right now.
One of the things I do that I think has really been helping, I love the 12-week work year. Have you read that book? That's a great book.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
you do that. You
yeah.
take like a month or a month and a half off at a time.
Yeah, well.
You have done that before.
I try. It's, this year I've got, in July, I'm very excited. I have 3 out of 4 weeks off. I would have taken 4 weeks.
That's like awesomeness.
Well, I'm on the journey myself. And it's my recalibration year. And also from coaching, it helped me recognize what time we do these things in contrived manners. Like a lot of folks try to do it. New year, new me. But we all have our own operating system. Like when are we out of control? And that's the other thing. We have our own little way of working. Like, what's the line of I'm in control, I'm out of control? And we have to kind of listen to that because, like, July's great because it's the cusp between corporate, classes and, everything. So you have to kind of look at your ecosystem and figure out what's the best time of year for you to kind of seize control.
So you're kind of you're striking that balance.
Yeah,
you're saying, I recognize, because I'm with you. July is typically my slower time of the year. If I had picked a month, that would be one of them. Things kind of really heat up right up to Memorial Day, then start to slow down, and then heat back up when Labor Day comes.
Yep.
And then it slows down again in kind of that December, early January kind of window.
Yep.
Okay.
So you find your natural ebbs and flows. That's helpful.
I'm super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm so uncomfortable with this topic. Okay. What else? What else for us?
I think it's really understanding really being clear and having an accountability partner for what you're trying to accomplish.
Oh.
And, my husband is my great accountability partner. My business partner is my great accountability partner. Because
So you can have more than one.
Oh, my gosh, yes. When you're caught in the production trap, you'll need many. You'll need many co-players to help grab you back when the Borg is trying to suck you in.
Okay.
So, suck you
in. Okay. So accountability partner.
Yeah.
So we've got mindset, we've got accountability partners, we've got, thinking a little bit about and revisiting in our mind about what really matters, where we're adding value. Anything else?
Well, I think the greatest skills we learn is, as you were saying, learning to say no. And it's a gracious no. Love to work with you. And you'd be surprised when your stock goes up. It comes back to kind of Robert Greene wrote a great book called The 48 Laws of Power. And if you haven't read it, you should. It won't make you happy, but it's a very interesting book.
It won't make you happy?
Yeah, because the world runs on these different power principles. And I think my clients are like, I don't want to live my life that way. I'm like, dude, I'm not telling you to live your life that way. I'm just saying they're playing around you that way.
So it's like the rules of the game.
Yeah, the rules of the game.
And it may feel a little bit icky, but it's just the way.
But one of the ones that I call out is this idea that, again, it's basic economics. It's supply and demand. It's like too much of you makes your stock go down. And so, being inaccessible actually makes you more valuable because there's less of you. So it's paradoxical. We think we're not going to be valuable because there's not enough of us. But the reality is we're flooding the market with ourselves. So we're actually devaluing ourselves.
Really funny you say that, because I had a lunch meeting this was a couple of years ago with a retired partner from a consulting firm. Mm-hmm. And he spoke that one of his mentors at the firm, when he became a partner, he was always spending time, this individual I was having lunch with, always spending time with other consultants, junior consultants, meeting with them. And the more senior partner said, this is good that you're doing that, but you're too accessible. Mm. You're too accessible. And it to his point, he said that kind of it convinces them or trains them that they can come to you anytime.
Yeah, you train the system to need you. Yeah.
Now there's a right way and a wrong way to handle that. So there's I don't know if you saw the Steve Harvey memo that he put out to his staff with all caps and yelling at them because they were coming in all time to his dressing room. So you don't need to yell at people when you say no. But you said it really well. Very simply put, a gracious no. A gracious no.
I had a client call me this week. He wants me. No. There's a great board position, and part of me was like, you feel that because it's great and it's yummy. And I said, we'll have a conversation about it. But on the surface, I'm saying no, at least for this year, because you got to get real clear on what space you got, and that kind of helps set those boundaries.
I'm starting to feel good.
Yeah, good.
I'm actually starting to feel better.
That's good.
There's already things that have come in my inbox that I flagged yesterday that now I'm going to go back and say,
love to, but
no,
not. And the other thing is,
no, thank you. I love you, but no, thank you. Thank you. No,
oh my God,
thank you, but no, thank you.
I'm so flattered and delighted that you would think of me. Oh,
flattered and delighted.
Flattered and delighted, but no.
But no.
But no.
But
yes.
No, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, but no, thank you. Hashtag blessed.
Yeah. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag no.
Hashtag no.
Yes. But I always try and leave them with something helpful. It's like, not right for me. I will help you find another resource. So sometimes it's I
try to do that too.
Yeah, and that's important to me because I, like you, want to help people. And there's so many people that need to be helped.
But what I'm finding is that everybody in my circle is also suffering from the production trap.
Yeah, I know. Right?
So what's happening is I'm trying to refer, and they're going, no.
I know.
And then I'm like, why? You can't even hand it off to somebody.
Yeah.
And 5 people, and they all say no.
Got to expand your circle.
This happened just on a conversation I was having
hang out with good
yesterday
people.
about this 2-day course that I was supposed to co-teach, that everyone that we've asked to also teach it has all bailed and said no. And so we basically said, well, maybe we should just move the course because this doesn't make sense. Which is I'm more comfortable with, rather than me just do the whole thing.
Right.
Because I'm full from the buffet. Like I don't need more. I don't need more. That's good.
Well, and the other thing is you can't do your best job. That's the other thing too, that we start retarding our value because, we know, and I know, and I'm guilty of it, when you show up and you really didn't have enough time to do your best work, and sometimes you have to wing it. And so that's occasionally good through a stretch period, and that's what I tell folks. Is this a stretch period or is this a pattern and this is life? Because if it's a 6-month stretch period, but my husband likes to remind me when I say, if I could just get through June, it's like I'm bargaining with myself. If I could just get through June, he's like, you say that every 6 months. And so, all right, I got it. So I think it's also, you really are driving down your value because you're not bringing your best self. And we're in the your best self business. So we got to walk our talk.
Amen, sister.
As Reggie would say, that'll preach.
That will preach. That will absolutely preach. All right, so believe it or not, our time is already coming close to the end. As you probably know, and I set this up, I ask every single one of my guests for a good, no pressure, life hack on how we can eliminate dysfunction from our life, either personally or professionally. So Jodie, what is your life hack? This feels like such like a game show. What is your life hack?
Embrace the fact that the production trap is real, and fight that good fight to not let the Borg absorb you. Okay. Find whatever time you need, whether it's 2 hours this week. Make a sabbatical with yourself.
Make a sabbatical with yourself.
Yeah.
So what does that look like when you say make a sabbatical with yourself? What's examples of things either you've done or you've seen clients do that worked for them?
My coach taught me, I flew to Charleston a couple years ago just to spend the day with me in Charleston. Like went to another city and walked around and enjoyed, and I had a sabbatical with myself. I think better when I'm traveling. So, and when I'm with my family, I love hanging out with my family. So as much as I say I'll do my sabbatical or do my thinking, it's travel and getting out of your zone really makes you think about things differently. So change up your environment. Yeah, absolutely. And have a sabbatical with yourself. And have it frequently. I mean, people, businesses have planning sessions, good businesses. When's the last time you had a planning session with yourself? Sometimes you need to reflect. Sometimes you take a partner. Sometimes I go on a sabbatical with my coach and make sure I'm not crazy about what I'm thinking. Yeah. So awesome hack. Yeah. I love that idea. Take a sabbatical with yourself. Take a sabbatical with yourself. Can I talk to myself on the sabbatical? Oh, genius is talking to yourself. If you're talking to yourself, you're probably genius. It's a fine line between genius and crazy. Absolutely. I'm not sure where I am on that line. In the South, we say eccentric. Eccentric. There's no crazy. There's just eccentric. Aunt Millie is eccentric. Hashtag eccentric. Yeah. I'm not crazy. I'm just eccentric. Jodie, you are an absolute pleasure. Oh, Thank you so much for coming and helping us kind of walk through this idea of production trap. I say us, I mean me, but everyone else listening too, because this is something I absolutely struggle with and continue to struggle with. And I know I will after today, but you gave all of us listening some really good tips and tricks and tools and ways of thinking about how to avoid that. So thank you. If people want to learn more about you, where can they go? JodieCharlop.com. JodieCharlop.com. Yeah. CHARLOP for Charlop. JodieCharlop.com. You'll find me there. Everything I do, everything you need to reach me. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for fighting the good fight. Yeah. Join the movement. Join the movement. And for everyone listening and viewing this today, keep up the good fight and continue to join and follow the movement. So you can follow us on Twitter at the WP Therapist for Workplace Therapist, the WP Therapist, or Facebook, facebook.com/Brandon Smith, WPT for Workplace Therapist. And of course, you can go to my site, theworkplacetherapist.com.
And until next week, which our next show airs, as we know, every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Eastern, have an awesome, awesome week and an awesome, awesome life. I'm Brandon Smith, and I'm the Workplace Therapist. My entire purpose and passion in life is one singular thing, and that's to help you live a life free from dysfunction. And let's be honest, folks, dysfunction is everywhere. Our bosses, our coworkers, our neighbors, even that grumpy barista that pours your coffee. And sometimes, that dysfunction stares back at us in the face when we're getting ready in the mornings and we see ourselves in the mirror. Well, at the end of the day, life and work should not have to suck. The purpose of this show is to help you overcome those roadblocks in your life to help you realize the life you've always wanted.